Stories of the government shutdown affecting real Americans, well, they're making headlines all over the country. In North Carolina's Blue Ridge Parkway, park rangers block the entrance to the Pisgah Inn. That's a privately owned business on leased government land. And that caused the restaurant to throw out thousands of dollars worth of food in what usually would be a very busy fall season. In Massachusetts, the Nauset Knoll Motor Lodge, it's a private business leasing property in the Cape Cod National Seashore. They had to cancel and refund an entire month of reservations. So instead of welcoming visitors, the lodge's owner is spending his time sending out some reimbursement checks. And in Wyoming, park rangers barricaded paths and denied access to visitors who planned their vacations and spent thousands of dollars to tour Yellowstone National Park. Bus tour director Gordon Hodgson says that some park rangers used tactics that were better suited for the Gestapo. And he joins us now. Gordon, thanks for being here. And I want you to tell us about the experience that you and your tour group had at Yellowstone.
Yes, sir. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. I've been working as a tour guide for about 8 years. Best job in the world, taking people into our national parks. Always had a good experience with the National Park Service, the rangers, the concessionaires. But to have our group treated the way we were our last trip in was just really amazing. We were prevented from accessing any of the wonderful sites in Yellowstone National Park. All of the geyser basins, roads, the accesses were all blockaded. I took my group out to try and see some of the sites that they'd been promised they would see when they signed up for their tour. We saw a group of bison alongside the road and stopped to take some pictures of them. But immediately a ranger pulled up and asked who was in charge, and I responded, that would be me. She said, "You need to get back on your bus, sir. There's no recreating in the park." And I said, "Well, we just want to take pictures of the bison." She said, "Sir, there's no recreating in the park. Get back on your bus right now." She said, "Are you traveling through the park or are you staying in the park?" And I said, "Well, we have rooms at the Old Faithful Inn. We're staying tonight." She said, "Well, get back on your bus and go back to the hotel and stay there."
Now, some of the people that you had with you were people from other countries. How did they feel? Were they a little frightened by the treatment they were receiving at a national park?
I don't know if they were frightened. They were very amazed and disappointed. I had people from Canada and from Australia in my group that had paid large sums of money to come here and tour our national parks. And to them, it was very discouraging, you know, a chance of a lifetime to visit these national parks. And they were very upset about it, as well as others on the bus also.
You know, I only can imagine if you'd had some tourists from North Korea that had said, "We're getting out of here. We're going back to North Korea where they know how to take good care of tourists." You know, this is sad. You said they were almost like Gestapo tactics. What were some of the things that they did that just made you say, wow, what happened to America?
Well, to be threatened with arrest, to me, for visiting the national park. Now, I've been in the national parks many, many times, had a good relationship with the National Park Service, the rangers, the concessionaires, and this was just a complete about-face, and it really took me out by surprise. But to be threatened with arrest, and then as we went back to our hotel, as we were ordered to do, we could not access even the boardwalks to go watch Old Faithful geyser go off.
They wouldn't let you walk on the sidewalks or the boardwalks.
That's true. They said, "Well, we don't have money to maintain the boardwalks." And I confronted one ranger. I says, "We have money to have rangers riding around on four-wheelers to keep us from taking photographs, you know. Can't we go out and watch Old Faithful geyser go off?" And he said, "Sir, if you step across that line, you could be arrested for trespassing."
Wow.
And on the signs, it said, you know, entry punishable by law.
You know, Gordon, it's just a
ahead.
shocking thing that you've been through. And this is the story we're hearing all over America. I'm sorry it happened to you. I hope it doesn't happen again. But now, having been on the show, they may not be that nice to you next time you show up either. So I thank you anyway for coming. I appreciate it. Gordon, great to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, a high school senior and an avid fisherman had some fillet knives in his tackle box. They were locked away in his car, but it was on school property. He got charged with a felony and faced a 10-year prison sentence. We're going to find out what happened to him, and we're going to ask, what happened to common sense? That's next.